1 in 3 Americans have this disease. We'll tell you all about it coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Fox 43 studio. We're focused on diabetes and the first annual PD Walk to Cure Diabetes, which was held at Francis Marion University on March 23rd. And we're visiting with Marty Riley, the Executive Director of the Palmetto Community Health Network. Good morning, Marty.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning. Incredible opportunity to highlight an amazing event held at Francis Marion on March 23rd. It was a huge success, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. We were very pleased.
You got to be. For the first annual, you always wonder when it's a first event what it's going to be like.
Right. You don't know how many people are going to participate and just the organization that goes into it, but it turned out wonderful.
Absolutely. And to be able to drive down from Florence today, we're up in the Florence area on a pretty regular basis, but we're obviously here at the Myrtle Beach studio today, so thanks for making the effort to get down.
Sure.
Are you originally from the area, Marty?
No, I'm not. I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia, but my grandparents, I visited Florence quite often as a child, and I liked the community and the smaller town atmosphere, so I moved back this way to be near family.
And you've got family in the area?
Yes.
I understand you're a newlywed as well.
Yes. Recently got married.
I know on the letters that went out, thanking both highlighting many of the sponsors as well as thanking so many of the folks that were instrumental in making a successful walk. I saw a sign, Marty Riley. So I'm sure that's a big transition.
Yes, it has been, but it's going fine.
That's wonderful. When did you join the Palmetto Community Health Network, and what had you been doing prior to that position?
I joined the network about 2.5 years ago. Prior to that, when I first moved to the Florence area, I worked in economic development, which is a very interesting field, and I've also worked in job placement. So I enjoy working with helping people. It's kind of, I guess, my avenue.
Let's talk about the helping people, and that's exactly what the Palmetto Community Health Network does. Let's talk about, when was it formed, and what's it about?
The Palmetto Community Health Network was formed in 1993. It's a network of hospitals. We currently have 7 members, and they participate by joining their resources to offer more effective solutions and services for healthcare costs to the communities.
Okay, and how does it directly benefit healthcare providers in those communities?
By offering reduced cost on the healthcare costs by joining their resources.
Right. So it's all about cost. Are these smaller hospitals, or are they a mixture?
They vary in size. We have a 7-county area: Chesterfield General Hospital, Marlborough Park Hospital, Loris Healthcare System. Darlington, we have Wilson Medical Center. We have McLeod Regional Medical Center, St. Eugene Medical Center in Dillon. We have Marion Regional Healthcare System in Marion. And we're looking to expand those areas as well.
Great, good. That's exciting. And obviously the Palmetto Community Health Network was the presenting sponsor of the walk.
Yes, we were.
What was the avenue? I mean, I'm sure you all are approached for so many opportunities, walks and different health events. What made you all determine this was going to be one you were really going to wrap around?
We chose this one in relation to the network hospitals have looked at the chronic health care issues in the PD area and the communities that they serve, and diabetes is a very prevalent disease. And we have a diabetes project that we are currently working on through a Duke Endowment grant, trying to implement education programs for the patients that have diabetes through the hospitals and partnerships with South Carolina DHEC.
Okay.
And then we identified the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, which is geared mainly toward raising funds for research, and they gear a lot of their efforts toward children with diabetes.
Is that right?
So it's kind of a spin-off from our diabetes project.
Which is wonderful. And Marty, you, obviously the Palmetto Community Health Network was the presenting sponsor. Were you also involved in helping to organize the event?
Yes, I was directly, which I enjoyed very much. It was a volunteer-driven walk, but we did have corporate sponsorship levels, and that's where our network came in, and we participated in sending out letters for corporate sponsorships, and we got quite a few. The response was really overwhelming this first year.
I saw that. I was
So-
amazed to see the litany of all the corporate sponsors. I saw TV13. One of my
Right.
Competitors was a sponsor as well,
Right.
which is wonderful, which is really exciting. It's always great to grab a broadcast entity, whomever it is, whether it's my station or cable properties or radio properties. It's important to get someone involved.
Right.
Hopefully all of us can be
They're
involved.
all welcome, yes.
Great, great. Who were some of the other organizers of the walk, and what were you hoping to accomplish?
Like I say, most of it was volunteer driven. We had a lot of key families that were pulling this together to help develop support for the children and the families in the PD region for diabetes awareness. And we had just different corporations, people donating time, resources, anything that they had. We had a lot of in-kind sponsors this year.
And diabetes is of particular concern to the network?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. For the awareness and the wellness of the people in their communities. It's, like I said, we don't want to be on the map for that, but we are definitely, the PD area has a high prevalent rate.
The PD area has a high prevalent rate of a lot of diseases.
Yes,
Heart
it
disease,
does.
I think Marion County is one of the highest in America.
Unfortunately, it is, and we hope to make a difference with that.
Absolutely. And y'all's had a dramatic focus to really benefit the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. What was the focus to make to keep it on children or on the juvenile side?
We selected to assist with that due to the fact that it is more prevalent in children. It's showing up more and more, especially in our area. Dillon County, one of our local hospitals there, is working on a program that they have grant funding for to help adolescents with diabetes, and they have like an exercise component and help them with their diet and how to monitor some of their symptoms.
Okay. We just have a couple of minutes, Marty. Can you talk real quick about some of the initiatives that have been put into place by the Palmetto Community Health Network to help bring about research and support within the community for diabetes?
Sure. Like I mentioned, the Duke Endowment has graciously approved a grant for us. We're in their first year of a third-year grant funding, and with that we have gone into a 9-county area to implement education programs. And this will allow the patients with diabetes to have screenings and education to recognize signs and symptoms and possibly self-manage or learn to control.
Okay. Marty, are y'all already beginning to plan for an event next year?
Yes, we are.
Do you think the network will be helping to both organize as well as sponsor?
There will probably be a different presenting sponsor, but yes, we will be a key player.
Great. And was the business community supportive of the effort this year?
Once everyone was aware of what we were doing, yes, everybody jumped on board, and we got a large participation from corporations. They had walk teams, they raised money. Like I said, they offered resources, all kinds of things. So it was really a wonderful turnout.
That's wonderful. We're visiting with Marty Bird Riley, the Executive Director of the Palmetto Community Health Network, the presenting sponsor for this year's first annual PD Walk to Cure Diabetes. Thanks again for being with us this morning,
Thank you so much.
Marty.
Thank you.
Stay tuned to Bob Kogler coming up next on Carolina People. Welcome back to Carolina People, and we're visiting with Bob Kogler, the franchisee for Color Time Rent to Own in Florence and one of the sponsors for this year's walk. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for being with us.
No, my pleasure.
Obviously, to drive down, we'd love to be in Florence today, but coming down to Myrtle Beach to visit the studio, we appreciate you and Marty and obviously Irma making the trip.
Hey, you're more than welcome.
Are you originally from the area?
No, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm glad to get out of the snow, though.
Absolutely. What brought you down to the Carolinas?
My business, Color Time, as a franchisee. I investigated Florence, and the people in Florence were super, very friendly, and I thought this was a good spot to start my Color Time.
And you'd had some experience in some other locations in North Carolina prior to arriving in Florence.
Yeah, I've got a store in Wilson, North Carolina, and also Fayetteville, North Carolina.
When did the franchise open there in Florence?
August of 2001.
Okay. And what does Color Time offer?
Electronics, meaning anything from big screen televisions to boom boxes, furniture, bedroom sets, living room sets, computers, big computers now. I mean, kids are going crazy for those, as well as appliances.
And rent to own, how does that work, Bob? That's something I've always wondered about.
Well, it's where people don't have the capacity or the financing or cash to go out and purchase, say, a living room set. They can come to us with no money down and fill out a rental application and get approved the same day, and we'll be delivering a living room set with them over a course of 52 weeks or 78 weeks, depending on the piece of merchandise they select.
That's great. So they can pay for it on a weekly basis?
Yes, sir.
That's fantastic. What prompted you to get active in this year's walk, as well as to do anything to support fighting diabetes?
Well, two things. My business is very successful in Florence, and I wanted to give back to the community itself. I feel that I can have an impact on diabetes because in 1999 I found out I was diabetic. So, along with that, I figured, as long as I had some extra money to put to our fund, I'd be more than happy to get involved with it. And next year, I'm going to get even more personally involved, and hopefully on the committee.
Great, absolutely. Do you have a family history of diabetes, Bob?
My uncle had diabetes, and my mother's father had diabetes. So I mean, it's in there. But I'm type 2, which is basically onset due to overweight, smoking, carrying on. But I quit smoking. I stopped drinking. So basically, all I have to do, if I lose weight, which I'm on the treadmill, and I walked in our walk, and so if I get rid of that, I can probably get off a lot of medications.
Right. It was drinking, smoking, and carrying on.
Exactly.
I heard that I've dropped drinking, I've dropped the smoking. You didn't say I've dropped the carrying on.
You can't get rid of everything. You got to enjoy life a little bit.
How has life changed since you found out? You said back at 89.
You have to eat differently. You have to watch what you eat. Your intake. Your blood sugar levels go up and down. I mean, therefore you have to regulate what your consumption of different foods are. I mean, there's no more fried foods. There's no more high fat foods. A lot of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, that type of thing. Get rid of no more ice cream. Yeah.
Bob, that's amazing. And obviously, you knew there were some family members who had it. You probably never even thought about it.
I probably had diabetes before I even found out about it. And that's the other reason why I got involved, because there's so many people out there that don't know that they have diabetes, and if they don't get tested, they're not going to know about it. And they could go on and have a very short life because it is critical.
I think it was you, Bob, that told me once here a month or so ago that 1 in 3 people have diabetes, and however many may even have it and don't know about it.
Exactly. I mean, I think there's 6 million. I think the number is like 6 million people in the United States right now have diabetes, and they don't know, and they're unaware that they have it.
Were you among the walkers in this first diabetes walk?
Yeah, I still got the blisters. Yeah, I did. I made it the 3 miles, and I guess I had the wrong shoes on. Next year I'll have the right shoes and the right socks. But we did. Yeah, we had a great time.
Who was on the team, Bob?
My wife, Nan, my partner, Tom Karat, his wife, Melissa, who is pregnant. She's going to have a baby in June, and their 2 kids, Austin and Cara.
And when you think of the event, what do you think made it successful? I mean, you thought it was a very successful event.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they raised $45,000.
Wow.
First year out, I thought it was fantastic.
That's amazing.
It was focused towards family, and I think that helped. There was a lot of families there. They had things for the kids to do. They had some clowns that did face painting for the children that showed up. They had sugar-free ice cream. They had from I think Blue Bunny. They had Pepsi was there with their diet sodas. They had a jumping thing like McDonald's type thing for the kids to enjoy. They had some outdoor music. So I mean, it was an overall event that brought in a lot of families as well as corporate sponsors.
Absolutely. I was amazed when I saw the letter from Marty laying out the litany of folks who were.
Yeah, it was. I was just glad to be part of it, and I can't wait till start getting into it next year.
Please share with us a little bit about some of the things that Color Time is doing there in Florence to help fight against diabetes.
I contacted a lady by the name of Gwen Davis, who works for DHEC, which is the health department, and we're looking into having free screenings at the Color Time store in Florence on a quarterly basis, and hopefully that'll make everybody aware a little bit more and give them the opportunity to come in at no cost to them to find out at least if they have the possibility of diabetes. And also I'm looking into, I spoke with Haynes Payne, he's the Vice President of Marketing for the PD Pride, and we're going to hopefully run a golf tournament with the PD Pride players for the diabetes.
Spectacular. We've got less than a minute, Bob, but if a viewer was going to come to the store to get a free screening, what would that involve?
Well, number one, they have to not eat prior to 12 o'clock midnight. They have to be fasting for that period of time in order to get a fasting reading of their blood sugar. And basically, and they're going to have to fill out an application or some kind of information for the health department, so they can keep it on record for them and monitor each person that comes in. And then give them some instructions from that point, if they do show up as a positive for possible diabetes, they'll get the information then on what to do next.
And when are you going to kick off the screenings?
We're going to try to set that up probably in September. We're looking at that'll give us enough time to coordinate and organize the first one.
And your store opens at?
We open at 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 a.m.?
And we're going to probably hold this on a Saturday. But we'll have plenty of advertising through Focus on Results, the Smart Living, and as well as the local newspapers. And I'm hoping to put some posters in the local stores and retail outlets.
Spectacular. You heard Bob Kogler say it. Wait till September or get out there now and get those screenings. He wants you to find out. He and everyone who's fighting diabetes wants you to find out as soon as you can. But in September, don't eat after midnight, be in the store after 9 a.m., and get checked out. Bob, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Irma Gause coming up next. Welcome back to Carolina People. We're visiting with Irma Gause, a sales representative for Smart Living magazine. Good morning, Irma.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, following Marty and Bob, folks are so interested in really making next year's walk an even bigger success. And obviously, Smart Living magazine was instrumental in making this year's magazine a big success.
Well, I surely like to think so. The owner of our company, Joe Moody, is a diabetic, and he was very involved and very interested in this, and I think has done a great job getting the word out there about diabetes and supporting Palmetto Community Health Network and what they were trying to do.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think how many folks are faced with diabetes on a daily basis.
It really is. You talk to anybody, and they have a family member or a friend that is a diabetic.
I think I saw that Joe found out he was a diabetic 17 years ago.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm sure life changes dramatically.
Well, for him, he had such extreme high and lows that the doctor decided to put him on the pump, and it's worked extremely well for him. He changed from kind of one of those people that change every day till now. He's kind of leveled out and super great guy, though.
I think I saw a note that he'd written in one of the publications that 7 years ago when he and his wife, Pam, I believe, launched the magazine, that there was surely a focus on trying to help get the word out about diabetes, and the efforts have been highlighted in a new section that will be going out focused on diabetes. That's a real effort.
Yes, that's exactly right. For a matter of fact, when Joe started the company, I went to work for him about a year later, And just a couple of months after that, he started the diabetes awareness campaign, and actually it's been going into 600,000 households every month. It's been a short advertisement in every publication of Smart Living, so he's definitely had the word out there.
Now, you have one of the publications with you today.
I do. This is the publication that we are doing for the walk. It gives all the information about the walk, all the families, the events that went on, and some of the advertisers, all of the sponsors, everything that involved the walk.
That's fantastic. Well, you think about all the efforts that went in. It was March 23rd. The location was Francis Marion University.
Yes.
This was the first annual Palmetto Community Health Network. Getting those folks involved early on was a big deal.
Yes, it was. And actually, I want to give a little bit of recognition to the Francis Marion University students. They helped us tremendously with the editorials and the photography. Did a great job. As you can see, this front page turned out beautiful. We're really proud of it. This is not a finished product, but it's what the product will look like, and will be mailed April the 29th.
That's fantastic. And over $45,000 was raised.
Yes. Oh, yes, it was fantastic. Joe actually came down from Charlotte and walked, and I was out there. I was more greeting than walking. I decided not to walk that day, but I was out there, and it was just tremendous response. Marty and those did a great job, and Bob Kogler being involved in it, and all the other sponsors of the event.
Absolutely. Irma, let's talk real quick about yourself. Were you originally from the area?
I'm from the big country of Hemingway, South Carolina.
Great.
Which I live in Florence now, but I was born and raised in Hemingway and stayed there till I was about 46 years old. So.
Is that right? Golly, I wouldn't have imagined you were even yet 46. Son of a gun.
Oh, I'm an old grandma, so.
Is that right? Do you, speaking of grandma, do you still have a family in the area?
I do. My mother is still living, and I have sisters and brothers down in Hemingway, and my son.
And you've got a grandson or granddaughter?
I have a grandson and granddaughter.
Is that right?
Yes,
Did they live in the area?
They live in Hemingway.
Oh, wow.
Down at Stuckey.
Down at Stuckey. Let's talk about Smart Living Magazine. What exactly is it?
Smart Living Magazine is a publication of Focus on Results, and it is our outside piece that we mail every month into 600,000-something households. Covers Myrtle Beach, all of Florence, and different markets, and it, of course, is different advertisers every month.
And you said you joined the organization about a year after...
After Joe went into business, yes, I did. I've been with him since '97, I think.
Is that right? What had you been doing prior to that, Irma?
I was an employee of the Florence Chamber of Commerce. Loved it. Good fun, good work. Made a lot of good contacts, and which has helped me tremendously in my business also.
Absolutely. Now, anyone in your family suffering with diabetes?
My grandmother on my dad's side was a diabetic, but nobody in my immediate family now.
And when I say the word suffering, obviously that may be pushing it, but if folks were not utilizing the drugs that are in place to fight diabetes, people would be suffering, or they'd be dead.
That's exactly right. And when you read the stories in here that the children wrote and some of their comments, it is definitely suffering whenever they become a diabetic as a juvenile. A lot of things they have to face that people don't understand.
Irma, now you said on a monthly basis you all are highlighting, Smart Living Magazine is highlighting diabetes, and this publication will come out to highlight what all happened at the walk as well as so many other events going on within the PD or on the Strand.
That's exactly right.
What about, how did Smart Living actually assist with the walk? Were there efforts made leading the day of the walk? You said you were there.
Yes, sir, I was there, but for the walk itself, we started promoting the walk in November, and we actually mailed between 200,000 and 300,000 households every month in our publication, and it went to all of the PD.
Great. Will you be among the sponsors, you think, for next year's walk?
Oh, I'm sure that we're definitely going to be very involved, probably more than we were this year on a personal and a monetary level both.
Irma, it's amazing to think about all the efforts that go into making a walk successful. This is the first annual, and to think of raising over $45,000, I think I saw the PD area Heart Walk raised $270,000 this year, and so fighting heart disease is a big effort. Obviously, fighting diabetes. 1 in 3 folks are afflicted with diabetes in America. And so surely first annual raising $45,000, there's a long way to go and a lot more that can be raised.
But I think we'll make it. I mean, we'll definitely plan on it and start earlier, be more involved. And I think all of the people that were out there will get more people involved, so I think we'll definitely reach a higher goal than we did this year.
You heard Irma Gause say it. Goals will be higher next year, and they'll be reached and hopefully pushed beyond every year going forward. Irma, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much, too.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Marty Bird Riley, Bob Kogler, and Irma Gause for making today's Carolina People a great success.